Okay, if you're new to the channel, this show is Prospect Spotlight, and it means a lot to me, guys. It really does. I'm 5-0 on selections that I'm choosing to be a guaranteed win. Okay? I'm choosing them to be. These are the fights. If you want to make your guaranteed money, bet on the Prospect Spotlight series. I'm 5-0. I've got Tony Martin. He won his fight when I picked him. Nathaniel Wood, Macy Barber, Kevin Holland. You know, Kevin Holland lost his fight, and he still won purely because I picked him for my Prospect Spotlight. But this week's Prospect Spotlight is Roosevelt Roberts. Fuck me, Jesus Christ, I can't believe I forgot the name. Roosevelt Roberts is my Prospect Spotlight this week. The Predator. He's been looking very good recently. He was on the Tuesday Night Contender Series 8 months from today, and he looked very good. Very dominant wrestling, very dominant on top. And what I like about his jiu-jitsu game, his top game, is that when he goes for a position, like when he passes into half guard, he doesn't stop there. A lot of guys have this systemic build-up to their jiu-jitsu in UFC, and I don't think it's working anymore. I used it in the Jacare versus Hermansson breakdown video where, alright, I'm going to go to half guard now. Okay, now I'm going to go to top mount. A lot of guys get to a position and then they wait there and then they work from there. Roosevelt Roberts doesn't do that. I've seen many a time, and maybe it's because they're low level competition, but even still it shows a level of confidence in your jiu-jitsu game. He passes to side control, and the second his knees touch the floor in side control, he cuts into top mount as fast as he can. He doesn't settle into a position. He's always working for a more dominant position for the judges and for damage taken and for damage causing, And I really like his jiu-jitsu game. I really do. I think it's orgasmic. And I think Roosevelt Roberts is going to take this one. He's undefeated, 7-0. I like undefeated guys. I really do. He's beat a guy on the Dana White Contender Series called Garrett Gross. And, you know, he was kind of a schmo. But you know what? He got the win. But then he fought Daryl Horcher. Daryl Horcher's been in the UFC for a while. He came in. His UFC debut was against Khabib. And I think he ended up getting TKO'd. Then he came back. He won a fight over Devin Powell or something like that, and then he lost again, and then Roosevelt Roberts beat him. But Roosevelt Roberts is going up against a guy called Thomas Gifford. I don't like picking guaranteed wins, guys, because Thomas Gifford, the young lion he calls himself, is very good himself. And when you're Roosevelt Roberts and you're trying to implement your ground game and your submission game, Thomas Gifford has 12 submissions on his record out of 14 wins. And he's never gone to the distance, ever. And he's got 2 KO TKOs. But here's the thing. He's been finished a lot of time. It's a kind of a bad record. It's a very experienced record for a guy who's 26 years old. I'll say that. He's 14-7, but he's been finished many times. He's been submitted a few times, but now he seems to have found his rhythm. And he's coming off the back of 3 submissions in a row, but 2 of those submissions were against the same guy, which I don't understand how these amateur fights, or not amateur fights, well, they're kind of amateur fights, but these pre-UFC pro fights work. You beat a guy by submission in the first round, and then a few months later you fight the same guy and submit him in the first round. I kind of negate that win. You know what I'm saying? Because that kind of just counts as you beat one guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm willing to say he's 13-7 right now rather than 14-7. But either way, he's got a dominant jiu-jitsu game. Very nice. I just feel like Roosevelt Roberts is going to be a bit too much for him, and he's coming into the main stage. He's been knocked down a few times in his career, and now it's finally his moment in the UFC. And I'm going to go for Roosevelt Roberts here, and I think he's going to get a decision victory. I think there's going to be grappling exchanges. I think he's going to be the more athletic of the two of them. I think he's going to be able to control the ground game really well, but I don't think he's going to be able to succeed in getting the submission. I just think we're going to see a bunch of top control for Roosevelt Roberts, or the complete opposite is going to happen, and Roosevelt Roberts is going to have to stand with this guy. Roosevelt Roberts has a good stand-up game. He's very good on his feet, but he likes to get guys down to the ground and do his work there. But at the same time, I mean, he's no slouch on the feet, you know what I'm saying? And he's also been through a couple of organisations as well. He's not like some of these guys where they fight for the same organisation and they just beat recycled competitors and then they get their shot in the UFC. He's been to CFL, he's been on to King of the Cage, he's been to CXF, whatever the fuck that organization is. Jesus fucking Christ. Then he went to Bellator, beat a guy. Then he went to the Contender Series. Then he went to the UFC. So he's jumped about a bit to find competition for himself. That's always a good sign. Because if guys don't want to fight you and you have to go to different organizations to get fights, it shows that you're clearly doing something that some of these pro guys that want to protect their record don't want anything to do with. And I feel like Roosevelt Roberts is going to get the win. And he's named after a president. So, you know, he better be fucking good. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting all the chips down here, boys. This is a risky one. A real risky one. This might be my riskiest one yet. I knew Montel Jackson was going to beat Andre Sukumtat because Andre Sukumtat is shit. I knew Macy Barber was going to beat JJ Aldridge because she's bigger and she's just more aggressive and she was going to win either way. And she did. I knew that Tony Martin was going to beat Sergio Moraes because I've been watching Tony Martin for a very long time and I've been paying attention to him. And he seems like a savage and I knew he was going to win. I thought Kevin Holland was going to beat Gerard Milshot, and he didn't, but they gave him the decision because I picked him to win, and the UFC knows never to go against my prospect spotlight because I'll have all of the judges killed in the next few days. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Roosevelt Roberts is going to get the win, but this is my riskiest one yet, boys. So clench your fucking assholes tight because we're going deep. Okay? I'm actually terrified. I feel like... Here's one of the things. This is the first time where if I didn't pick Roosevelt Roberts for my prospect spotlight, my prospect spotlight would be Thomas Gifford. Fuck, I'm terrified, boys. I'm terrified. I might even end this video right now, but I'm not gonna. I have to man up. I have to fucking man up. Let's go! Let's go, Roosevelt Roberts! Fuck yes. I need to be 6-0, boys. Okay? No mistakes. I will remain undefeated. Roosevelt Roberts is gonna get the win by decision dominantly. 30-27, boys. I'll see you later. Fuck. What have I done? Like and subscribe. And I'm live at 9 PM GMT. So, today, later on, in about 4.5 hours, most likely when this goes up, I'll be live. So tune in, you know. Should be fun.